Woo! Episode 9 now.
Episode fucking 9.
That is insane. All right, touchysubjectshow.com, touchysubjectshow.com. Go if you want to call in, try to win this one of one. We're talking Joker.
So don't fucking distract
No
us.
MMA. We talked it last week. Don't worry about last episode. Go to 916-250-2571. 2571.
25 cents. However,
Are you going on Instagram right now?
I'm going on Instagram to tell these people to call in if they want to talk about the fucking Joker movie.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about anything else to try to distract us from the real issues, don't.
Where we picked up off last time, we were talking about the Joker. There's a couple themes I want to talk about. Joaquin Phoenix. But one thing we were talking about was the kind of the origin story.
Yeah.
The comic book origin story of it. And in the movie, let's assume that Thomas Wayne is really the Joker's son.
Okay.
In it, and I think we actually talked about that, like, because the comics, they haven't really done much of a like a Thomas Wayne origin story or like a Wayne family origin story at all.
They've covered it. They have covered it.
They have?
They have, but that's the thing about making a movie like this where it's not technically canon. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to worry about the baggage of the last fucking 90 years of...
So what about this? So how interesting would it be, it'd be a comic book or movie or anything, where Thomas Wayne is the Joker's son.
Yeah.
He inadvertently created the Joker by sticking his mom into doing a bunch of these shitty things.
Yeah.
Then Batman is created because of this whole situation, which makes it, I think, the Batman story even more rich. And then the image Batman had of his parents were in the comic books. Everything has always been rosy-eyed, saintly, should we call it? So, what about the story of him finding out that Joker is his half brother, and he finds out that his parents were pieces of shit?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that as a storyline of the movie?
I think it works better like this as a standalone. I think it works better in our imagination.
Really?
I think once you start getting like a costume character and the moments of like, you're not my brother, like it's gonna turn real soap opera-y and gimmicky. I think like it's one of those things it's better in. I thought about this. I think it's better. It's fun. It's more fun, and it's better like for nerds to sit on the couch and talk about it than it is in actual execution. So like I hope that they don't make a sequel of any kind to this movie.
They can't. They at no point did they. I think you could.
I don't think you should. I think you could, but I don't think you should.
What about just like a Batman movie before he's Batman, and you have this character piece of a guy that kind of goes through the same thing that Joker went through, and the
development of being a young guy with all this money and no fucking parents,
and he gets
being angry,
and how instead of becoming a murderer, he becomes a hero.
Yeah.
So it's kind
would be cool.
It's kind of like two sides of the same coin of that
cool.
You could go down both those routes. Caller, you're on the air. What do you got to say?
I'm trying to come up on that shirt. What's up, guys? First time caller.
You got 30 seconds to convince me, because we got to get out of here. We're putting a tight show on here, and we got Joker talk. So you got 30 seconds to convince me.
Do you have anything? Listen, this will be the determining factor. Do you have anything Joker related to talk? Like, if you could blow Studboy's mind right now with some Joker talk, you'd be.
If someone came in there with your earlier thing of making forcing them to go down the dark alley,
that's a shirt winnable offense.
I mean, it's at least like.
He's got to put you in the runnings.
You're gonna get in the run. No one's gonna just win it off the bat. There's gonna have to be multiple stuff, but
okay.
You might be able to get on the list. You might be able to be allowed in, behind the rope for a couple minutes.
Okay.
So you better hurry up, bro.
I don't have anything, sadly.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right. Well, listen, Studboy's the judge here. It's not looking good for you. I'm rooting for you, bud. But You got to bring some heat, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just I'm stuck in a tough subject, but next time, next subject, I'll be there.
All right.
This guy's stealing our taglines, dude.
All right. There you go. He's man.
Wait, he hung up?
Yeah.
You hung up?
No, he's done. He said he didn't know. We're talking Joker.
Oh,
Okay.
you rotten sons of bitches. You rotten sons of bitches.
He said he had nothing.
Yeah, it's heartless.
He had
I don't
nothing.
have it in me. Thank God as you guys are here. I'd just be talking to people the whole time.
So we talked about it.
Poor
Now.
guy. I feel bad about that. I feel bad now. Poor
Yeah, he's
fucking
fine.
guy.
We talked about Joker. We kind of talked about the comic book side of it.
Yeah.
I want to talk two more things. I want to talk about kind of the mental health kind of take on it,
Yeah.
and the kind of the character piece of it, and I just want to talk about Joaquin Phoenix's acting.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the two
it.
topics. What do you want to go for first? Like, what are your thoughts on?
Let's go. I feel like mental health is going to get real heavy, so let's go Joaquin Phoenix first.
Okay.
Because the way that there were so many, like, as a guy who's
Well, let me ask you this: is there a better actor today, right now, at this moment?
other than Daniel Day-Lewis, no. I think, and he's retired, so I think Joaquin is the guy.
Okay, can you name a performance better than that, as of right now?
No.
Right? You can't. I can't. I mean, maybe like Marlon Brando in Godfather, maybe.
What about like My Left Foot? Daniel
I didn't.
Day-Lewis?
I never saw it. I mean,
I've just seen pieces of it, but he didn't use his body for like time, like weeks on end.
Really?
He like is a method actor, so he's that guy.
Yeah.
But I have a non-sexual man crush on Daniel Day-Lewis. To answer your question, it's one of the better performances I've ever seen. The way I'm a huge like movie nerd and acting nerd, to where I'll like Melissa gets annoyed. My girlfriend gets annoyed with me because I'll rewind a scene 10 times to watch the little facial expressions that like I fucking love acting. I love like I'm a nerd over it. Like to see the way that he contoured his body and the little mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like the way he was always fucking poking his ribs out to control his breathing and not to laugh.
Yeah.
That's another thing that was incredible that they wrote that in to explain why the Joker's always laughing.
Yes.
That dude.
That was so good.
That was just beautifully done.
Uh-huh.
But the way that he danced to the way that he was always doing the thing where he's poking his ribs out.
Yeah.
To the laugh, the way that he does the laugh. I like have OCD. Like I struggle with OCD a lot.
Okay.
Like with certain shit, and like leaving my house is a nightmare some days.
Okay.
And like the way that he portrayed like that neurotic fucking like the way that he did the laugh where you could tell it was almost painful. It was like it hurt him to be laughing.
Yeah.
Like
it hurt the character to be laughing.
It hurt. Yeah. Like. Or the character laughing, but you could almost see that he was like having physical discomfort. Like,
but
he was portraying the character. Like he was portraying.
So for people that don't know, the character in the movie, the Joker laugh, he had this involuntary.
He has a neurological damage that makes him laugh.
It makes him laugh at inappropriate times, and he would laugh when he was, and it showed like when he would be getting nervous or become in confrontation.
Similar. It seemed almost similar to like Tourette's or something.
Yes.
But it was a laugh. But he would do it, but he would laugh, and then it was anguishing. Like he would laugh until it hurt him physically.
Because he didn't want to laugh.
But it also mentally it hurts. And dude, the way that he portrayed that feeling of being frustrated by your body doing something you don't want it to do.
Yeah.
Like I have been in a situation where everyone's dressed. We're going to a nice thing. People are wearing ties and jackets and dress shoes, and I'm fucking checking my door handle.
Yeah.
And like counting and snapping and doing my rituals and all these stupid things that are even embarrassing to admit that I do. And like a room full of people are looking at me like you're an actual crazy person. And you're like fucking idiot. Just like go to the fucking door. Like it's almost like not physical. I mean physically too, but there's a certain like it's almost painful when you're in this fucking thing that you don't want to be doing and your mind is bullying you into this action and like and now you're not even focused on the action. You're just fucking hating yourself for doing it. And like he conveyed that. Fucking I don't have the word, just that feeling. He conveyed it, dude, like as a person that has little shit like that.
Struggles with something like that.
Dude,
it's amazing.
It was incredible. Dude. It was fucking incredible. The way he physically portrayed that was just next level.
I mean that is just one small detail about the movie, and it just like that just shows how rich the character was because there's so much more too of like One, just physically how skinny he got, but it's not like it's like it was an odd skinny.
Yeah.
And it was weird because
And
like
he was always he made a point. I think he was like he was
I
very.
think he does have something fucked up with his shoulder though.
He was. I think he was. I mean, he might, but I think he was just doing
Whatever he's doing is definitely like
double jointed or something.
just like making it look worse.
Making it, dude. He was sitting. Everything about his body posture was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He sometimes he walked with a little bit of a limp. If you
Yeah.
saw that, like he was like. It was like macabre. It was like almost like clown, not clown. It was like jester-ish before he was even in the makeup. Like you could see the way he was like some kind of weird like haunted house character. Where he was just always just it was
mangled, and he was like
just mangled up, dude.
overly skinny. Looked like he had bad hygiene.
Yeah, his hair was all greasy.
Greasy all the time. He
He probably took years off his life to do that character.
I guess he lost 52 pounds or something. They're saying.
I believe that because what you just reminded me of now. The last movie I saw him in, I love Joaquin Phoenix. I love watching his movies. The last Joaquin Phoenix movie I watched was You Were Never Really Here. Have you seen that?
No.
Incredible, but he's big in that movie.
He's like fat? He's chubby or whatever.
No, he's just big. He plays like an ex military guy, and so he looks like like the way a football player looks when they're done playing.
Okay.
Like, he's big, broad shoulders. Like he's got a chest, but he's got a gut too.
Yeah.
Big arms. Like he's got to be 220 in that movie.
Okay, interesting.
And that was not that long ago. I mean, that was 2017, I think.
Oh wow.
I mean, I'll look it up. And I love that movie. He plays an incredible character in that. You should watch You Were Never Really Here.
I'll have to check it out.
It's an incredible character. He plays another awesome performance by him, but he's got to be 220, 225 in that. And then in this, he's 160 pounds.
Like even how he ran when he would run, like his head would like when you run, you kind of get in a rhythm. Like his head would move in a like erratic way. Like there was just everything would be.
Also, when he danced, the dancing fucked me up too because he like danced the same way through the whole thing, and he did it with like a certain confidence, and it was like completely different than the way he moved when he was like when he was Arthur Fleck, and it was just like just the physicality in the role was fucking incredible. Dude. Like
it was
a masterclass in acting, dude. Like. As you're watching it, you're like, damn, this is something special.
If he doesn't win the Oscar for that,
fucking rigged.
It's not. It's there's no legitimacy to the
Academy can suck it if the Joker doesn't win.
I mean, I don't know what he does. Now
You Were Never Really Here, dude. 2017. Look how fucking big he is.
Wow.
Like he's a bit. They show him with his shirt off. Look how big he is.
You want to put that on the screen?
Yeah. Like you should pull up. The picture of him shirtless in You Were Never Really Here, and then a picture of him shirtless in The Joker. And this is a 2-year difference. And not a 2-year difference because he probably didn't know he was going to make this movie 2 years ago. Maybe a year ago he knew or something.
Sure.
So that's him and you. Like, look at that picture right there. Yeah. Or even go 2 over. Yeah, that's perfect. Look how big he is there.
Yeah,
He's got to be 220. He's got to be over 200 pounds.
What is this, like a PTSD or something? Is this about?
Yeah, similar. Yeah, he's a guy who comes back from.
And then look, there's the Joker photo down there. You can kind of compare the two.
Yeah, right there. It's right there on the left side.
Yeah, the bottom left.
Bottom left.
Yeah,
right
that
there.
one
right. 2 over. Nope, right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Look at that. Look at that one. Look at that picture next to the other one, dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean,
that's a transformation. And
look at that's just. What's his name did that for the machinist too? You see that?
Yeah, he got real emaciated.
These method actors are on a different level, dude.
He's not even a method actor.
I thought he was a method actor.
No, he said
he's just fucking good.
He just goes, I don't know, I just go and act. Because they were asking him, there was always this talk like the Joker brings you to this dark place, and they're trying to claim that's what killed Heath Ledger and stuff like that. Yeah. But he says, hey, I just got into the role and I did research. But even like his affect when he talked, he talked in a very, like a very just monotone way and just a halting, weird way as well. Also, one thing I heard that, his notebook, the notebook that that Arthur Fleck is carrying for his therapy, and he's writing his jokes in there. So apparently, Joaquin Phoenix wrote that entire joke book, that entire notebook himself.
Okay.
So he wrote everything in it, and they used that as a prop in the movie, but also he used that to develop his character as well. And like even detail like how he had just terrible handwriting and how that would be like a mentally ill person, and like so then he goes into a and this kind of can transition into like just like the character piece of someone that's mentally ill, where, and I've always, and this is, I mean, I have a background in the mental health industry. I actually was a therapist at a time, and I was a trained therapist and everything. And like mental illness I think is one of the most harmful. For me, it's the most sad possible disease that someone can be inflicted with. Now, not because like if you have cancer or if you know have heart disease or if there's something that someone may have, it or even some type of whatever disability it is, you instantly get sympathy from other people. Okay, mental illness majority of time is undetected.
Suck it up.
Not suck it up, but I'm just talking about, I say I'm a mentally ill person, and there's a spectrum and there's a degree of everything on that. But my relation to the world is harsh. It's conflict. It's not welcoming in any way at all. Where if I'm someone that is schizophrenic or something, not only am I suffering from this thing that I can't control, but everybody hates me as well. They don't hate me because I have this illness. They hate me because how I behave because of this illness. Yeah. And I come out, and not necessarily schizophrenic, but I mean, there's a lot of things that you can get done, but people come out there, and that's why it's so sad, because you have someone that has something they really can't control, and they're really not pleasant to be around. They're dangerous. They could be violent, like we've seen in this movie. But at the same time, they are ill, which makes it even more sad. But not to say that the world is wrong, because they are right. If you have someone that is spreading poop on themselves, you're right for not wanting to be around them. And it's really I don't know. I think the movie did a really, really good job at depicting that and depicting the anguish that someone with mental illness has. I don't know. Do you have a take on that? You can chime in at all or anything?
No, I mean, I think you covered it. It's a weird thing. It's like if you've ever been around a paranoid schizophrenic person or someone having a manic fucking episode, like, it can be as extreme as fucking shitting on the walls and being physically aggressive, or it can be as mental illness can be something as simple as locking yourself in your fucking room, like. But it's like there isn't a. It's very easy. It's easier when there's a situation you can go, okay, that's the bad guy, that's the good guy. Yeah. And in a situation with mental illness, there isn't. I mean, like, you're not wrong for wanting to not be around a paranoid schizophrenic person.
Yeah. But you're actually. I would advise you.
Yeah, you would advise you to not be around a paranoid schizophrenic
or at least
person.
Be. You're not going to treat that person as a normal person because they're not a normal person.
Yeah. So it's like it's not your fault for not wanting to be around or even being uncomfortable around a paranoid schizophrenic person, but it's also not the paranoid schizophrenic person's fault. The paranoid schizophrenic person's fault for flying off the handle or harming themselves, or like they might not only is it a disease, but it might be something that they are not even aware of.
Exactly.
They might not even have the cognitive ability to address the way they're acting,
to comprehend.
And what's worse, they might be able to and not be able to help stop themselves. Like, it's even worse. Like, I would say this, like, when I used to work, this is something that I could never really wrap my head around. Like, I used to work with special needs kids. Like I really enjoy working with special needs kids. I did that in high school, and in middle school. It was one of my like electives. I was a teacher's aide in the special ed class, and there were special needs kids, obviously, but there was one or two kids that were aware that, like most of the kids weren't aware that they
What
were
was
any
going
different
on?
than anybody else. Like
Yeah.
they went to their class, like they wouldn't be able to tell you I'm in the special ed class. They were just like, I go to school. Like
Yeah.
this is my teacher.
I
Like,
mean, they're kind of an extreme case.
right,
Extreme
but there
cases.
was a couple kids who were aware, like they were aware of the difference between themselves and the other kids. Like they were aware that their class is here,
Yeah.
and they don't have a first, second, or third period. They just have this class.
Yeah.
They were aware that their lunch period is different than they were aware of their disability. And like I don't know what's worse. And it was hard for me to wrap my head around that. And like, to what degree do they know? Or like, like, I guess what I'm saying is there's no easy answer when it comes to mental illness or mental disability or autism or any of these things that affect the mind. Like, there's no easy answer. There's no like blanket thing where it's like, if you have a flu, I can pretty fucking well tell you what you should do for your flu.
Yeah.
If you're autistic, that could be a number of things. And I'm the least qualified person I would never even presume to tell you what.
Yeah.
Like, like if you sprained your ankle at jiu-jitsu, like I've been there. Like, let me tell you what you can do. If you're paranoid schizophrenic, I have no idea what to say or what to like how to handle it, or like there's no like blanket thing that you can just be like, oh yeah, rest it. Like put some ice on it.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer. There's no easy way to deal with it. There's no easy. It's a fucking hard thing.
It's a hard and it doesn't provoke any sympathy from the world.
Right.
But but I think the Joker depicts there are things you can do for mental illness. So I think
I think it also shows. It also speaks about our society that there are things you can do that we don't do.
And that's where I'm kind of going with. So, I mean, one, having a very stable support system. That's one of the most important aspects about mental illness, because, I mean, you have someone that's mentally ill, like the Joker, and in the movie that we don't know how much that was born to, how much he was born of it, but mental illness is an inherited thing. But also, you accompany trauma to it. You're going to that is the recipe for someone that's psychotic, someone that's a serial killer, or a mass murderer, or something like that. And so having a strong, stable base, having medication is a very important aspect of it, and then also having a society that actually values corrective measures, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So instead 100%. Of saying like, oh, someone's, they're homeless, they can do what they want. No, they are mentally ill, and they need to be in a facility. Right. And to combat mental illness, you need to promote stable families and stable support systems as best as we can. And for the ones that don't promote that, we need to have, I would say more
designated facilities
for people. Help. I mean, there's chemical things that goes around in people's brains that they need to be on certain medication, and they need to be watched they need to be evaluated in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, in America, jails and prisons are the number one housing for
mentally ill people. And if we had a better system like we did in the 60s and 70s, a lot of the stuff would have been...
4-year-old pal Ronald Reagan cut all the funding.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan, that's the one that cut it off.
Fuck you, Ronald Reagan's the devil.
Ronald Reagan's the problem, is the source of everybody's problem.
True.
Even though the Democrats have been running everything for the last 70 years.
I don't know about running everything, but you guys had the Marlboro Man.
That's it.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. Cut funding for mentally ill people. He created crack. I mean,
Ronald
Reagan is the devil.
We'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
But just kind of, the movie, I think, is a commentary on
the way society looks at people.
Society looks at people, but also just how we're allowing society to slip through, and how we're we're not making realistic choices about people.
Right.
Yeah. So
I would add to that. It makes a good commentary on people with mental illness navigating our society.
sure.
That has no really care about them.
Yeah.
They just go, all right, well, that guy's life sucks, but that has nothing to do with me. And then until it does, we do have to get out of here, so I don't. It's hard.
We're gonna finish. You're gonna finish. You're the last thought.
I'm scared to get into this, but it's like, I mean, we see this with. I mean, how many mass shootings are there? And I know that people feel different about mass shootings. Oh, the numbers are this or that. I don't think that every single piece of news about mass shootings is to be believed, but the point remains, like, there have been a lot of mass shootings recently.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of mass shootings in America, period. These are mentally ill people.
Yes.
These are people who are having a hard time navigating our society. Yeah. And so you can only go, that's not our problem, for so long, until you're in the place where the person brings a weapon, or you're in the place, or your kids are in the place where that person who slipped through the crack finally fucking loses it.
So I'm gonna add to that. We're gonna add a minute to the thing. So you talk about mass shootings, and I actually thought about that and how this is, and kind of, I guess I'm coming from a more, I guess you would say a conservative point of view on this. So we took the Parkland shootings, the one in Florida. You had that kid, whatever his name is, that guy. So Obama changed the law saying that you can, basically making it that kids can't be expelled or disciplined in certain ways. I don't know what the law, but he made it much harder for a school
to expel a kid.
Because, and he made it a race thing, because minorities were being expelled higher than white kids and everything. So what did the schools do? They just closed a blind eye to kids that were causing trouble. This kid, pre-Obama law, would have been put into some type of alternative schools. Yeah, he would have been taken out of the system. He would have been identified as a threat because he made plenty of threats beforehand. And since they changed the law, those threats the kid slipped through. He's probably someone that he probably needed to be in some type of institution for his entire life, and maybe actually give him a chance to live in life. Yeah. Instead, we blame some type of political expedient narrative to be able to push that onto the population while ignoring ignoring things like a mass shooter actually takes place on that.
I'm pro gun and I'm not super pro Obama. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
I'm with you. I didn't want to come off as like some dude who's super like the mass shootings. I think a lot of the things about that are. There's a lot we could say about the reportings of the mass shootings and all kinds of things. We could get into that a different episode. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, as much as I'm pro Second Amendment and I'm not like a huge Obama guy, I do agree. I agree with you. I just think that, my point was that people with mental illness are no one's problem until they become everyone's problem.
Perfect ending. We'll leave it at that. TouchySubjectShows.com, TouchySubjectShow.com. Anything else? Or are we getting out of here?
No, let's get out of here.
All right. See you next episode. Thanks, guys. Woo!